Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have, actually that is not Adam Brennan, that is me in game number 1. And looks like a sideboarding error. Gross. One of the difficulties of multitasking. Looks like failure to de-sideboard after game number 1. Gonna be mulling. So going to 6 here. Cabal Therapy from Hogaak. And looks like paying some respect there, naming Cephalid Illusionist in the dark. Not often seen legacy plays, turn 1 blind therapy, naming Cephalid Illusionist. The deck demands some level of respect, but we see it looks like another Illusionist on top along with a Stoneforge. And that could still be a turn 3 win. Ponder. Now resolved. Passing the turn. A Hedron Crab. Gets 3 cards into the bin. Not a fetch land, so that Bloodghast not able to come back this turn. And there's a Cephalid Illusionist sticking. Mercifully, Hogaak doesn't really have any way of getting rid of this Illusionist off the board. The hand, a very vulnerable zone. And we got a couple of Vengevines in there. Very dangerous situation. Bloodghast triggering Vengevines. Oh no. He's just casting Hogaak. He missed his trigger on the Vengevines. So it would have been an extra 8 damage. Cabal Therapy. Sees a Stoneforge Mystic. Likely naming Nomad in Core or Shuko. And the Stoneforge is actually going to be able to run it out from there. Stoneforge can go grab Shuko, and that is a wrap. So game number 1 going to Eurekatel. Sorry, to Cephalid Breakfast. Seeing the name up on the top there, it's actually incorrect. That's me playing Cephalid Breakfast. So game 1 to Cephalid Breakfast, despite getting Cabal Therapied. Struggling a little bit with the names on the marquee. Interesting match to relive. I think Cephalid Breakfast is the real deal. Force, Daze, Cantrips. It's mostly good cards. OBS has a pause feature. Needed to get up for a second to help a customer. Multitasking here. Our attendances vary from event to event in our weeklies. The Wednesday before this event, I believe we had 17 players, 18 players, something like that. I was very busy keeping things going there. Obviously wasn't going to play in an event that large, but this was a kind of quiet F&M if I recall correctly, and I believe there was only like 7 or 9 people. Ended up being a 3-rounder. I think that would mean it was 8 people total. Yeah, if it was 3 rounds, it had to be exactly 8. So one of our smallest at 8 players. Vacation week in February had us seeing some of our biggest events ever and a couple of our smaller events. It was difficult to really nail down any type of causation there. And here we go. Looks like a Force of Will. Any lands in there? Looks like it's going to be good enough. Hogaak, just such an incredibly powerful deck. Really just awesome to see this new iteration of graveyard strategy. It's like a dredge without any dredge cards. It's really wild. Once Upon a Time leading out. Generally will feel pretty bad if they take a land off of that. Could mean that they were desperately needing a land. Once Upon a Time is kind of a interesting deck building decision. There's going to be some games where it has to resolve in order for you to even get any type of game going at all. And there are other times where it's just gravy. Ponder, careful study. This Hedron Crab gets Force of Willed. And a fetch land means that 6 cards saved from going to the graveyard. A Disenchant in hand. Fairly underwhelming. No pregame leyline. Another Hedron Crab. Does this merit any type of response? It will not actually get a Brainstorm. That pause, though, could indicate that Brainstorm was an option. You got to be careful when you're playing against these type of decks in terms of how much information you give away based off of your pauses, thinking through your lines. The more experienced your opponent, very often they're going to be able to get subtle reads based off of that. And apparently doesn't really matter because there's nothing good going into the graveyard whatsoever. That was just a whole bunch of lands. That is a stocked graveyard. That would very often represent a lethal board here, but instead it is straight 0. And this is going to be an end step Limdul's Vault. So Brainstorm plus Fetch Land were an option, and instead it's going to be Limdul's Vault during the end step. Now we're still fairly early into the game here, so this is not going to be lethal immediately. Typically, Limdul's Vault with a Brainstorm will allow you to get the ideal 3 cards on top of your library and Brainstorm into them, giving you, for example, your Cephalid Illusionist plus your Enabler. Brainstorm's so good in this deck, and looks like a Brainstorm prior to committing this Tormod's Crypt and the Cephalid to the board. Cavern of Souls and a Tormod's Crypt. So Cephalid Illusionist on board, Enablers in hand, possibly on top of the library. Of course, Hedron Crab not likely to mill the Cephalid Breakfast player here. Gonna need to get some type of threat going. And it doesn't really look like Tormod's Crypt worth cracking. A hardcast Vengevine and swinging for 6, representing likely just one more turn to the end, but Nomad gonna get it right there. Thassa's Oracle in hand as well, so even if Pile did have a Surgical Extraction in hand, it would not have been enough there, as Thassa's Oracle actually making its way into the hand. So avoiding any type of graveyard hate. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.